when you lost.
Hey guys, I may have go away heat, but these guys have Tru Heel Heat. So you better listen to the podcast or else I'm gonna kick you in your fucking cock and balls.
I'll get it.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is Tru Heel Heat, and I said it right, you motherfuckers.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel for, I think this is the first one of the season, but the return of Tru Heel Heat Check number 15, wrapping up the 2025 NBA Finals. And the reason why I think it's the first one of the year, we have done one this year, but this is the first time I'm doing it with my good brother extraordinaire, basketball fan, sports fan extraordinaire. I think this is the first time he's been on a live in 2025 as well. Live from work. Chris G, how are you doing?
For the sports channel, yes. I've done like 1 or 2 wrestling live feeds, which is still a record for like the last 720 days for me, but it feels good to be back.
Yes, we are back to talk some NBA basketball. The NBA Finals wrapped up on last Sunday, so we're a little less than a week after that. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are your NBA champions. I predicted this on FMC over on Fightful Overbooked. We did do Tru Heel Heat Check for the start of the playoffs, where I also predicted OKC Thunder was going to win the championship. And what a season for them. So we got a lot to discuss with that. But if you're joining us live, if you're watching us on demand, we appreciate you for joining us. Show that appreciation back and help out the YouTube algorithms by dropping a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your basketball fans, friends, and family. And of course, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, where we're talking some NBA, we talk some NFL, but most especially we're talking all the entertainment that you can enjoy, some BMF reviews, some power reviews. So subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified as we're on the march to 1,000 subscribers. And if you're with us live, you can sound off in the live chat. If you're on demand, comment down below. Let us know what you thought about this season in the NBA and the NBA Finals in particular. What do you think about the OKC Thunder winning the championship? What do you think about Kevin Durant getting traded to the Houston Rockets and the Celtics being blown up? We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But let's start, Chris, with the NBA Finals. What did you think about the finals overall? And what was your prediction at the start of the year? Because I've been having a celebration all week because I was right. This is the first time in a while I've been right, because usually I go with my heart instead of my head. I don't look at statistics and look at teams too much. I just always go with the Lakers to win the championship every year, which has been very dumb of me. And that's why I haven't predicted an NBA champion at the start of the season since 2022 when I predicted Golden State was going to win. It's been like 2 years where I hate the Nuggets. I hate the Celtics. So I didn't predict them to win the championship. But I looked at the teams, and it was especially after the Alex Caruso trade where I was just like, this team might be the deepest team I've ever seen. So I had to pick the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the championship this year. But what was your preseason prediction, and what did you think about how the season unfolded for OKC?
Well, you're doing better than me because for the last 34 years, I've been saying the Knicks are going to win the championship, and I haven't seen shit. So
that's where you're going wrong, sir. You're going with your heart too much.
It's all heart, no logic, and it hasn't served me well in life. But before the season started, I don't know if I would have definitively said, yeah, I said that wrong, but I would have not said outright OKC. I would have called them a contender and said they would definitely have the chance out of the West. I probably would have leaned towards a Celtics repeat just because, I mean, the Celtics teams like from last year was built so good and they didn't really, they upgraded if anything, got a little better. So I just thought they would have repeated probably in the beginning of the season. I would say midway through the season, I would have said OKC is probably the favorite just because they were playing the best ball out of really any team in the NBA. So in the playoffs, I mean, once the Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you couldn't tell me nothing. It was our year. But on the West, I kind of figured OKC would be the ones to go all the way. So I'm glad to see that they won. Really exciting team to see. I'm glad that they beat the Pacers in the finals. I think the Pacers, the finals was like, it was a good series. Like it was actually a really good series. Comebacks.
I think this series exceeded expectations because everybody was kind of down on this series because it's two kind of not like low market but middle market type teams that are not known for getting to the NBA finals like that, and a lot of people were down on it. I've been talking about on Fightful how my nephew at the beginning of the series like, oh, this series gonna be trash. Oh, the Thunder's gonna sweep them. Oh, the Thunder's gonna win in 5, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I was like, I saw that I watched closely that Pacers Knicks series, and I was like, yeah, this is a team of destiny. This is not going to be an easy, and they matched up so well with the Thunder. I would have loved to see what would have happened in Game 7 if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't go down with that injury. So what did you think about Tyrese going down the way he did and how the series unfolded?
Let me start by saying that I don't hate Tyrese Halliburton. I'm about to drop a pipe bomb. I don't even dislike him. In fact, I like him. All right, I actually like Tyrese Halliburton, but the fact that he's a Pacer irks my fucking soul to the point where I can't even like him, and he's likable. That being said, I don't want to see anybody ever go out like that, especially in Game 7 of the finals, man. It's like you give it your all of these days leading up to this moment, and then that one last game you go down on some non-contact Achilles injury. I mean, it's tough. I don't want to see him go down like that. Regardless how I feel about the Pacers, you know, I hope it comes back better.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that because man, he had one of the most remarkable playoff runs like ever. The Bucks series, that game where they were down by like 7 with 32 seconds to go, and they make that remarkable comeback. The comeback win against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And I've said it on record. I said it on Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, and I gotta say it here. The Indiana Pacers versus New York Knicks, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, is one of the greatest playoff games of all time. Like, I have to give it to you. I know it's bittersweet for you.
Depends who you ask, pal.
It is. It just is. Come on, dog. It is.
Watching that game live, right? I'm on the other side of the spectrum, right? Because I'm a Knicks fan, so it was tough to watch. But like, from a pure basketball standpoint, it's probably one of the greatest Game 1s in any series that I've seen, just because of that stretch of play from the Pacers. from the last like 4 minutes on. So into the end of the game, 4 minutes of the fourth quarter on. So yeah, it was tough to watch, but I agree. It was definitely the deciding factor of that series. And it's hard to say that with a game one, but you can, if you know basketball, you can tell.
Yeah, most definitely. I had no horse in the race, so I was definitely I watched it with a less on the line than you did. So I can understand if you got bad feelings towards it, but there's no denying it's like an all-timer game for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little sick to my stomach still, but definitely an all time.
God bless you. God bless you. But yes, we got to talk about though the NBA Finals MVP, this year's MVP, scoring champion, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the greatest seasons for a single player of all time, and like the Thunder overall, one of the greatest seasons for a team in general. They set records with their efficiency and point differential. They had an all-time defense that everybody was talking about heading into the playoffs, and then it came through when they needed to. They were 8-0 in the postseason following a loss. Like, this is one of the all-time great seasons from a NBA team. So, what do you think about Shai, who averaged 30 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds in the finals? Shot the ball pretty poorly from on his standards, but still a great performance by him to finish off one of the best seasons for a single player. He only became the fourth player in NBA history to get an NBA MVP, Finals MVP, and scoring title, with Shaq in 2000 and Michael Jordan, who I think did it twice. So what do you think about Shai's season and the season for the Thunder overall, and where do you think it ranks? Because I would say that the OKC Thunder of this year is probably the best NBA champion since the 2018 Golden State Warriors to me.
I mean, I feel like this might sound like a little bit of a stretch now, but when we look down the line 10, 15 years, this is probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled or put together. Just because of their depth and just they kind of hit every aspect of what you need in a team to be elite. They put up one of the best seasons. They had like one of the best plus minus margins or like scoring margins like in history. And you're talking about an NBA where scoring is at a premium. So to be able to put up, those type of defensive numbers in today's NBA, it only, attests to the fact that this was a really well built defensive team. Definitely, I would call them maybe one of the top 10 teams in NBA history. They did what they had to do. They did the first seed. They demolished and conquered and everything and dominated in the playoffs until that third the Western Conference Finals pretty much is when they finally hit some speed bumps. So I would say this OKC team is maybe top 10 in history. In regards to SGA, the fact that he can put up 35 a game and be your scoring champion is only a plus, because I feel like this year was the emphasis is like, the whole free throw merchant stuff, like, he's how he scores and his ability to score, but it's really everything else that he does that makes him so good. His defense, his playmaking, and his leadership. He's a very like silent assassin. He's not out there. He's not flashy. He's not like me. He's just one of those humble leaders that can kind of set an example for the rest of the group. And I think that's very underrated and overlooked in today's NBA. So SGA, definitely one of the best seasons of anybody to have all these accomplishments. And the scary part is that there's definitely room for more.
Yeah, that's the real scary part, that it feels like they are just getting started. Because another thing that I've said before is that these guys are like Shai's in his prime, J-Dub, who had a great finals I thought him and SGA was probably the best two-man finals that I've seen since the 2016 LeBron and Kyrie Cavs. They were the second team to ever, the second duo to ever have 160 points in an NBA Finals outside of Kyrie and LeBron in 2016. And J-Dub is just about to hit his prime because this is like his fourth year. Then you got Chet, who this is the worst that Chet will be. Chet is only going to get better. He's only going to get muscle on him. He's no longer going to be bony legs for a while. He's going to get some muscles. He's going to get some size. This is the worst that Chet's going to be, and they're already ahead of schedule and got an NBA championship. Then you got Cason Wallace. You got Hartenstein. You got they have 15 players on this championship team that's under contract next season. Like, I know you're a Knicks fan, but I've been getting annoyed with Knicks fans this week because I've been seeing all these posts about who you think is going to win the NBA championship next year. And I've seen a whole bunch of Knicks fans, and they even convinced loyal Laker fans like O'Shea Jackson that the Knicks are going to win the championship next year. I was like, how are we saying this when we don't know who's coaching the Knicks? And the Thunder just did what they did, and they have 15 players coming back next season. How is it not the Thunder, the obvious answer by everybody? So I'm going to ask you, what do you think about what the Thunder is doing? And do you think it's going to translate? And should they be considered the favorite for next season?
Well, they should definitely be considered the favorite for next season, just based off them winning this year and having basically the same roster, just probably better for next season, right? The whole Knicks thing is based off of a shitty stat that just happened to be in the last 3 or 4 years. Whoever loses the Eastern Conference Finals makes it to the finals the next year. So based off of that stat, everybody thinks the Knicks are going to win the championship, right? Also, the East is kind of wide open next year with the injuries to Tyrese. The Cavs are the Cavs. You don't know if they're going to blow it up or maybe just move a piece or two. Celtics blowing it up. Like, Bucks don't know if they're going to blow it up. Like, we have a lot of question marks going into that Eastern Conference next year. So that's why I can see those things in the I'm not gonna call the Knicks the favorite.
But even with that, like we've seen with the West is harder to get through, but it makes the person battle tested before getting to the finals. Yes, I could say you could say the Knicks are the favorite to go to the finals. I don't understand saying the Knicks are the favorite to win the championship.
We're delusional.
Yeah, it's very delusional because I would say it's between the Knicks and the Cavs. I think the Cavs are gonna get better with Evan Mobley is probably like what I said about Chet Holmgren. This is probably the worst Evan Mobley is going to be, and he was like a defensive player of the year candidate. He's just going to get better next season. I think
he won defensive player of the year.
Oh yeah. So yeah,
he won one of them, but he's a beast.
Yeah,
he's a beast. I think.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I think Jared Allen or Darius Garland might be on the move. So depending on the pieces that they get back on that team, if they fit seamlessly. Like if they could pull off like a Caruso trade, where they traded a young piece but got like a vet that could be like a defensive stalwart like type of move. If they could pull something like that off, which I don't know who's out there, but if they could pull something like that off, then I would give the Cavs the more benefit of the doubt. But I mean, until they get it somewhere, they're still fool's gold for me.
What do you think about the Knicks making that decision to fire Tom Thibodeau? I thought it was a mistake. Because I feel like if the Knicks still had Tom Thibodeau, then I'm 100% as a Laker fan would be on the bandwagon of saying the Knicks are the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. Now I feel like there's too many questions because the Knicks made that decision and didn't have a backup plan. The fact that they've been turned down by 5 different teams to interview coaches, and now 2 of their 3 final candidates are Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins. It doesn't give me a lot of faith in the Knicks.
I would feel better about this decision if they did actually have a plan, right? I'm indifferent because I love Coach Tibbs. I think he's probably the best Knicks coach I've seen since Van Gundy. Like for a long period of time, we spent 4 or 5 years with us. We had 4 winning seasons, 4 playoff appearances. I haven't seen an Eastern Conference Finals in 30 years. Like, he brought that to us. He helped instill that that vibe, you know, that atmosphere, the culture and shit. So I always love Tibbs for that. But on the other side, like, he doesn't have the greatest offensive schemes, right? Everything is just fucking Jalen Brunson run ISO for 20 seconds and then figure it out. He's gonna run your players into the ground. You're gonna have guys fatigued at the end of the season. There's guys that are that, you know, we have to be on the lookout for ACL, Achilles injuries. They're happening way too often. We got a guy like Jalen Brunson who's a high usage, always, you know, we can't have a Derrick Rose 2.0 pretty much, you know what I mean? So I could understand why from the outside, you know, all those factors, why Tibbs would get clipped. And honestly, I agree with all of them. As much as I love him and didn't want to see him go, like, I agree with the firing. But it's just a lot worse when you don't actually have somebody that you can hire to fill that vacancy. You literally went to 6 teams and asked if you could have their coach. Are you fucking stupid? Like, oh my God, this is where I get mad. Because I know Leon Rose isn't this dumb, bro. So I know it's James Dolan. And this is where it gets mad. James Dolan pisses me off because to just think that you can steal another coach from another team, like, you know, and replace one of your best coaches in history, one of your most winningest coaches in history. It just doesn't make any sense. Of course, I would love Jason Kidd. We're not getting Jason Kidd. If I was going to pivot, I would pivot towards Johnny Bryant, one of those young assistant coaches.
I remember in our chat, I said that initially when they fired Tibbs. I was like, why aren't they just go? Johnny Bryant should be the easy get because he knows the team so well, and he's got the experience for being on with them, being with what team is he with now? The Cavs? Yeah, the Cavs, who were just #1 in the Eastern Conference. Like, that's a no-brainer. I'm like genuinely surprised we haven't heard any reports of them in the Cavs to at least interview.
I said the one thing I said when Tibbs got fired is this is only going to be a good move if we can hire the next Steve Kerr, the next Ime Udoka, Joe Mazzulla, the young guys that bring a different style of thinking to basketball and can motivate your team and get the best out of them and bring out their potential, right? Who they guys finalists? Mike Brown got fired 7 times by 6 different fucking teams. Taylor Jenkins got fired at the end of the season because his star player can't keep his hands off of guns. And who's the other? James Borrego, who's fucking coach Hornets and had like their worst 3-year span ever. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand it. If it's not, they're really like hell bent on Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd's not going nowhere. So unless they want to wait a year and try to hire him, because he's not going to get signed to an extension either. So we'll see what happens.
It depends on what happens with the Dallas Mavericks, but we'll touch on that after we talk about the Knicks, where they can claim a victory of this offseason because they led to the demise of the 2024 Boston Celtics. Because this week, the Celtics were very busy in trades, trading Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks, as well as trading Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers, and not really getting anybody that's going to be with them long term in exchange. So this was basically like a salary dump. They're trying to avoid the second apron going into next season, where they're going to be without Jason Tatum, who got injured in that series against the Knicks. So what do you think about the Celtics blowing things up before next season, where it really feels like they're taking a dive and trying to set up for a championship run in 2026 when Tatum's back?
Fuck it, they might as well get rid of Jaylen Brown and Derek White too. Blow it up. Trade Joe Mazzulla. Get Joe Mazzulla out of there.
Oh, Jesus.
Give him to the Knicks. You know, I'm sure Ariel Huckporty would be a great addition to the Celtics if they gave us Joe Mazzulla. But honestly, you hate to see it, but this is the financial decisions that, you know, you have to make as an owner in today's NBA landscape. They're trying to desperately stop super teams from, you know, being created or sustaining any kind of longevity. So you're going to see this a lot. You're going to see a run for 2 or 3 years with a good core, and then you're going to chop it all up unless you have more guys like Jalen Brunson, who's going to take the $100 million deal. You know, unless you get guys like that, you're just going to see more and more of this. So I'm all for it because the Celtics are in our division. So the East is open now. The Knicks actually might win a division for once. But it remains to be seen. And also they got back some decent. I mean, Anthony Simons is a bowler, you know, so they got a little scoring to help replace what they're going to lose with Jason Tatum. They might lose a little bit on the defensive end with a shot blocker like Porzingis and a perimeter defender like Drew Holiday. But Joe Mazzulla is a great coach. I'm sure he'll figure it out and get the best out of the players that he has on the roster already. I wouldn't call them contenders, but they're going to be competitive.
Yeah, I think they'll still make the playoffs with Jaylen Brown. I'm looking forward to see what Jaylen Brown can do as the number one option next season. That should be interesting. And then the final thing to touch on is the Texas teams. Like we got in the headline there, the big trade of the week was Kevin Durant getting traded to the Houston Rockets for a fucking steal. Oh my God. Not they only got one first round pick for one of the top 12 players in the league. They only had to give up Jalen Green, who some people are high on. I'm not. I've seen his shot selection, seen how well he shoots from the field. He's not efficient. They basically gave up on him and got Kevin Durant in exchange for the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. And now they're just going to get better. And I was high on the Houston Rockets last season. I remember back in like November, I said they were going to be a top 6 team in the Western Conference, and they exceeded that by getting to the number 2 spot, jumping over my damn Lakers, who need to do something. But Kevin Durant getting traded to the Houston Rockets, does that make them the number 1 contender to dethrone the Thunder in the West? And then on the other side of Texas, it's the Dallas Mavericks, who might be another one that could contend for a threat to the Thunder on top of the Western Conference, because Kyrie Irving, he took a discount, a hell of a discount on his new deal, his contract extension, basically losing out on, I think it was like $80 million, they said, to basically make room to complete this team as he comes back from his injury. Anthony Davis is on the team now, so they got a defensive anchor in the middle, and they drafted the number 1 pick on 1% chance they get the number 1 pick. Conspiracy? I think so. And they get Cooper Flagg, the number 1 prospect in college basketball, a complete overall player who's great on defensive end, great offensively. A lot of people have high expectations for him. So what do you think about the 2 new contenders in the Western Conference for the Thunder, what the Rockets did and what Dallas did this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give Adam Silver a call and see how we can get some of these moves down here in New York City. Who do I have to bribe to get something? Like hit me with something. I'll start with the Mavs because on paper, right, it looks like, damn, this team could be dangerous. They got the number 1 pick, who's going to be an immediate great player. He just has the skill set for it. He has the mentality for it. But there's just a lot of question marks around the other 2 great players on that team, right? Anthony Davis is amazing, but who knows how his health is. Kyrie's going to be back maybe mid-season, but he's coming off an ACL injury. So it takes a little while to get back from that. So there's just these underlying factors that you don't know which way the Mavericks can go. I don't think they're going to be terrible by any stretch of the imagination, even if they're not fully healthy. But I don't think they're a threat to dethrone the OKC Thunder. Now with the Rockets, another team you kind of look at on paper now and you're like, wow, they basically swapped KD for Jalen Green, which is an upgrade, right? Jalen Green's not the best. They're not the best with the shot selection. I think his efficiency might go up in Phoenix because the ball will be out of his hands.
I agree.
So with Devin Booker, who's also still a very underrated playmaker, I think it might help Jalen Green be a little bit more efficient. They traded for Mark Williams, which is a big man that can space the floor. So I think the Suns actually made some moves to help complement Jalen Green and help, get him to his potential. Because I am high on Jalen Green. I think his shot selection is trash, but he's athletic enough. He has the grit, like the scoring grit, where he can be like a really good player in this league if he just puts it all together. But with the Rockets, there's one person on that team that I do not have faith in, that I will never have faith in. I do not believe in him, and I will never believe in him. And his name is Kevin Durant. I don't care where you put this man. You could put him on the motherfucking dream team, and I still might not have faith in them because
is this why? Is this because Kevin Durant chose the Nets over the Knicks?
Partly, yes. I'm still a little salty about that, but it's also because he's not a fucking winner. He is not a winner. His
Two-time NBA Finals MVP.
I don't want to hear it.
NBA MVP.
Don't wanna hear it.
Two-time champion.
Don't
You're
wanna
saying he's not a winner.
That two-time champion shit, we all know why he was a two-time champion. All right. He joined the best league. He joined the best team in the league and made them better. You know what I mean? They should have had 4 championships. Let's be real. They should have had a 4-peat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, on paper though, as a guy of the caliber of Kevin Durant, Sengun, Fred VanVleet took the little got a nice little extension, who's still a good solid point guard. The Thompson twin, I mean, they got some pieces there. Jabari Smith, they got talent. They got talent. So on paper,
Sengun's probably one of the more underrated centers in the league.
I would say he's like top 5, but he is I would say he like all around he's a top 5 center, but people would say he's underrated. He's only 24 years old, 25 years old. Like he's a baby. He still has room to grow. So on paper, yes, it looks like the Rockets have the potential to dethrone the Thunder. Will they actually do it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they'll come close. They'll be the number 2 seed. Maybe I could see the Thunder taking the foot off the gas in the regular season to pace themselves for the playoffs, and I could see the Thunder getting the number 1 seed. But when it comes to the playoffs, yeah, I would take the Thunder. The Thunder is just too deep right now, but I think that the Rockets is the biggest threat to the Thunder in the Western Conference, and I'm looking forward to whatever other deals we get from everybody else in the offseason. The offseason's already been very interesting. We got that Kevin Durant trade before Game 7 of the NBA Finals. What happened to the days that they would wait until the end of the NBA Finals to start making deals? That was kind of ridiculous. Like you had the Desmond Bane trade to the Orlando Magic for four first round picks. That reminded me of the Mikal Bridges trade, by the way. It's like, what are we doing? These are not guys that deserve 4. I feel like Rudy Gobert broke the system when he got 5. When they got 5 first rounds for him.
He most definitely, and he devalued all the players that are actually better than him, where they're getting fucking traded for pennies and second round picks. So I don't know. The system's broken.
Completely. But that was our NBA Finals wrap-up edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. If Chris G's got time, maybe we could do another one when some more off-season moves happen, because I like this compact version of our podcast here. It's very fun to do and go through all the main notes. But Chris G, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
Yeah, we'll do another one when Giannis gets traded to the Knicks.
Oh dear.
You can find me at Tru Heel Chris G on Twitter and X and Instagram, and you can find me here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports channel. Hopefully more going into the future. I think I should be able to free up some stuff because I would love to start getting back to doing these more consistently. And of course, on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling channel, I would still love to get back on that. NX3, Elite Heat, Blunt Impact. I don't know. We're bringing something back in the fall. I'm waiting for my time to clear up, and we're bringing something up. And you could always hear my voice on the shorts for the YouTube channel and the TikTok as well. So Tru Heel Heat Wrestling, just give us a follow.
Yes, Chris G always does great work with the shorts, so go over and check that out on Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. Of course, you can follow me at Tru Heel SP3 on the Twitter machine. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. I'll be live, of course, tomorrow, not at the regular schedule time, no flagship podcast tomorrow on the main channel, as it is Night of Champions, which is starting early for you in the US at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be live immediately following the PLE. I'll be with Robert D. Felice of Fightful to review everything that goes down at Night of Champions. So join us live for that tomorrow on the main channel. And if you haven't already, check out everything we got right here on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. We got our BMF reviews for season 4. So check it all out. Episode 1, 2, and 3. Me and Chrissy Love will be back later this week with a review of episode 4. We got All-American review coming up, the Shy review coming up, so check out all of that as well. But thank you so much to Chris G. Thank you to all of you for watching. Remember to drop the thumbs up, comment down below, and let us know what you thought about the NBA Finals and all the NBA moves. But for Chris G, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat Check number 15 for the 2025 NBA Finals wrap-up. We are signing off until next time.